to College Students Talking. I am your host, Austin Murray, and joining me today, I have two first-year students. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm Nicholas Orr. What else should we say?
Throw in what I already told them your first year, so tell us what major you are.
Right now, I'm a finance major with a focus in financial management.
And what's your favorite class?
Probably this semester would have to be oral comm.
That's fair.
All right.
I'm Parker. I'm marketing major, and I'm agreeing with Nick. It's definitely oral comm.
Oral comm? So what's up with oral comm? Because that was definitely not my favorite class of the semester when I took it. So is it just an easy class?
It's easy, and our teacher,
Yeah.
we love her. She's so good.
And half the time we don't even have to go to class.
Who is it?
Miss Edna
Edna
Holt
Qualls.
That sounded so rehearsed.
It wasn't.
So I had Jeannie Oliver for that class, and she was all right. Honestly, the hardest part about that class is that they have all the communications department standards. Have you guys had to write your outlines or anything yet?
No.
That's probably why you still like it. So when they grade, they have standards that the communication college actually set up. And so you have to have your outlines spaced just the right way. You have to use the exact right numbering format. And if you don't, they're required to count off because it's the standard of the entire communications department to use that specific type of outline for your stuff. Yeah, it's just random, and that is how a lot of my friends end up getting really annoyed with that class. And I didn't struggle with it as much, but even if you have a good outline, if you don't do it in the format they want, they're required to dock you points because it's just their college standard.
But no, yeah, we haven't even had a speech yet in there. We kind of just talk, and teacher basically just works on relationship building.
Yeah, that's how we did it for a long time, and we did a lot of popcorn reading stuff and reading from the book. But I mean, if you guys aren't even going to the class, then that sounds like a pretty good class to me.
Do you even have a book?
We do. We had to buy it.
Oh yeah.
So what else? We haven't really talked as much this semester. How's it going for you guys?
Awesome. It's perfect. I'm in SGA now. ATO's been fine. We have 7 pledges. It's been a lot of fun. Nick joined this semester, which I'm really looking forward to.
So yeah, Nick, I heard you joined a fraternity. How's that going?
It's going pretty good. We've only had one pledge class so far, and besides that, I just like hanging out with them.
Yeah, I mean, you're already pretty much an honorary member following Parker around all the time, right?
It doesn't. We don't follow each other.
I was kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
We're
where's this gonna go?
I don't know.
So today's topic is going to be making friends in college. So obviously, you seem pretty close. How'd you guys end up becoming friends? What's the story there?
Going through business calculus.
Yeah, we had to suffer through that class together. I know it's we just walked to class one day and we became best friends.
Is it one of those TikTok stories where it's how guys become friends, and it's for the first day you nod at each other when you walk by, the second day you wave, the third day you say what's up, and then the fourth day you're walking, talking together?
Yeah, because I think one day I walked in the business building and you're there and I was like, hey, apparently it's your birthday, happy birthday. I didn't even know him. I just saw on Snapchat it was his birthday.
I'm not a very social person with people I don't know. I like talking to people, especially if I know them. But if someone I don't know walked up to me on my birthday and was like, "Happy birthday," I'd be like, "Thanks."
You just say thanks, and you just talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, that's basically how you get rid of me. Say thanks, talk to me for a little bit. I'm on my way.
So obviously I don't live on campus, so I don't get a lot of chances to go out and just meet a whole bunch of new people and stuff like that. What do you guys find to be the best way? Say I live on campus and I go from class to dorm, dorm to class, class to dorm, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not really going out doing much. What would be your initial recommendation for going out? If you were talking to a first year student who is struggling to make friends, what would you be go and do this first to get more comfortable? What's your first step?
I'd probably on the first week when they have the welcome week events. There's a lot of things to do there, and just a lot of people show up in general, especially a lot of other first years. So it's a good way to meet people in your grade there.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Welcome Week. It's not something I've ever taken part in. Again, I didn't live on campus, so it went like right over my head, under my radar, or whichever euphemism you want to use there. But I've heard a lot of like people finding friends and they stay friends for their whole college careers, like at just that first week introduction. What kind of events do they have there? Like normally, what they have this year for you guys?
They had a lot of like outside games. I know they had like
They had like the beach bash,
Yeah, the water
silent
park thing.
disco.
Yeah, I saw pictures. That looked really fun. Like
That water was disgusting.
I didn't go to that, I'm gonna be honest.
I saw pictures of it. That water was brown.
I went to it, but I didn't get in the water.
Yeah, I walked right past it, grabbed a snack, and then I left.
Yeah, there's ice cream.
Yeah.
Here you go.
If you guys are wondering who spoke or if it seems kind of quiet, that is our amazing, lovely marketing director.
Creative
Miss-
director.
Creative director, whatever title she wants to give herself, she deserves it, Roxana. And so she's quiet, it is because she's filming the podcast right now. So, there was a bull riding thing on campus at one point,
yeah,
right?
that was the
What was
seventh
that? What, like, I have no idea what that was.
That's
I was tabling in the Union, and outside there was a bull riding thing. Like, obviously not a real bull,
That
but
wasn't
like
even
Homecoming
Welcome Week.
week. Yeah, that was
homecoming
homecoming week.
That's SAB. We did that.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was like a fake bull, and they had like a real bull. Or it was a horse. They had
No, yeah, they had a
They
real
had a
real-
real- I'm just imagining like a stampede happening. Like,
They should've.
They had running with the bulls, just right down the middle of campus.
Oh, so obviously, I think events is kind of what you guys are saying. Like, if there is any kind of big event, especially like the student activities board events, stuff like that, would be a really good way to go out and get involved.
Yeah.
So I know student activity board is like constantly doing stuff, and I know you're on that. So do they have a lot of like free events? Because obviously we don't want to recommend people to do anything that's like too paid or anything.
No.
So is all of your stuff free?
They're
or
all free.
all of it's
all
are free. Awesome. And let's see. How about the library? Do you guys ever meet people in the library, or is that somewhere where you kind of just go with people you already know?
That's more people you already know.
Yeah.
Because like when you go to the library, you generally don't really want to be talked to.
I definitely agree. Have you guys? Did you guys go to the library during finals week?
No, I went for microcomputer, and that's it.
Oh, I hate. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I have a Mac, and so I had
Yep.
to do all of my
Yep.
homework in the library
Yep.
late at night, the night before it was
Mhm.
due.
Yeah, and it took me hours.
Yeah, access is so hard, such a pain, and
That was the
favorite
easiest.
no,
Ain't no way you guys thought access was
Yes.
easy.
The databases?
Easiest.
Access
It was
is
so-
the hardest because it's the only one you don't have experience with. Like with the rest of them, I didn't even have to ever look at
Yeah,
anything. I didn't have to
Excel,
read a single.
the formulas, the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, Excel sucked, but access
was the easiest one.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like numbers.
easier than Word.
Yes.
Not
Yes,
easier
for
than
me.
Word.
For me, it was. I loved Access.
I'd say like Word, PowerPoint, Access, Excel.
So if I had to rank them from hardest to easiest, Access would be my hardest, just because it's the thing I'm the least familiar with. Followed by Excel, because Excel is complicated. I like numbers, so I don't mind it, but I understand it is definitely up there as one of the hardest. Followed by PowerPoint, followed by Word, because Word is literally just typing. Like at that
Yeah.
point, Word's probably the easiest to navigate.
But then you have to spell everything right. I can't spell.
Yeah. English is hard.
Yeah. You have to spell everything right. You misspell one word and you're like, oh shoot, I don't know where I went wrong. And then you have to start all over.
So since we somehow accidentally end up talking about like just the first ISBA class you're required to take, we might as well go ahead and talk about classes. So I think classes are going to be the go-to way for most people to end up making their first or second college friend and meeting people they don't know, because you go into the class, there's only one seat available, and you sit down next to somebody you've never seen before, and you start talking. Let's just do something. I think this would be funny, and you guys are pretty witty. What would be a good icebreaker? You sit down next to somebody you've never met before. What are you going to open the conversation with?
And you have to keep this PG-13?
Yes,
Okay,
obviously.
so, I like to look at their clothes. Mainly shoes. Mainly shoes. Like shoes.
So to translate, he looks at their feet first. He goes
Okay,
straight for the feet.
Okay, let's backpedal on that.
Why shoes?
Okay,
Because I like shoes.
one
I have
really
like
good.
8 pairs.
If you want to compliment somebody you don't know without sounding weird and you just want to start a conversation, a good way to do that is, hey, I like your shoes.
Yes.
It's a very casual, very nice remark.
That was what I was meaning.
I realized that that's what you were meaning. It just kind of didn't come
Because he's a
off
creep.
that way.
I know.
Oh, always creeping. Oh. So we know that Nick is going to go try to make new friends by staring at their feet. What about you, Parker? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I just start talking.
I feel like you
I
would
just-
off with some kind of a joke, like
Oh,
right off
no,
the
there's no
bat.
telling.
Yeah, it could be a joke.
we
it could
can
be,
tell you.
what's up, man? Or you never know with me.
The class not to do it in is a math class. No one talks in there.
Yeah, math is awful. Because like in like Dr. 2s, you can talk to the people next to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in
I
like
think,
Comp 1, I can talk. In math class, you can't.
We're the only people that ever talked in there.
Yeah.
I think
Pass notes.
I think another thing is the professor definitely, in my opinion, sets the mood for the whole class. So if you walk into a room with a professor who doesn't really like facilitate a lot of dialogue, like if you go in and it's a very lecture-heavy class, I don't really feel like you're going to want to talk to people around you. You're definitely not going to want to get involved. But like if I were to go to Dr. 2's class, his class isn't a lecture; it's a conversation. He literally picks on people. He brings
Yeah.
people up. He makes everybody talk. So I think if you're going to start a conversation in a class, maybe try to start a conversation in a class where people are normally talking a lot. That way that you just feel more comfortable talking to people. Because I know when I walk into my classes where it's dead silent the whole time and the professor just kind of talks to themselves and then we leave at the end of the period, I don't want anybody to say a word to me. Like, I want to be left alone. But if I go into a class where I'm expecting to talk and somebody talks to me, I'm not going to get as annoyed, or I'm not going to be as hesitant, I guess, to really engage in that conversation. Okay, so we've talked about just going out to free events and doing things and trying to meet people that way. We've talked about going to classrooms and, like, whenever you're in class, just talking to the people next to you, just trying to be nice, make sure you keep it respectful. Don't open up talking about their feet. I guess the shoes are okay, but don't be like, wow, you look really good in that shirt.
Those are some nice toes, dude.
Yeah. No, trust me. I've tried it. Don't go.
I
I've tried
will-
it. Don't go.
I will not compliment sandals.
I was gonna say, somebody comes in wearing flip flops and you're like, I love your shoes.
That
What
was
shoes,
worst
sir?
fashion choices.
So, no shoes.
Oh, I really hope we don't have to cut out that entire section, but.
No, it's fine.
No.
Okay, so Greek life. So tell me about Greek life. How do people get involved in Greek life? How do you go to a party? How do you approach somebody? Leave out anything that's untoward, of course.
I mean, it's just getting involved. Like, I went to soccer tryouts, and I met a few guys, and they were like, yeah, I'm in Greek life, I'm in ATO, and I was like, okay, well, these guys are pretty cool. So I decided, I was like, okay, I wasn't planning on joining Greek life at all, and then I was like, I'll go to a party. It seems fun, I like these guys. Started talking with them, they told me about it, and I was like, I feel like I can make the biggest difference on campus with these guys. So that's why I joined Greek life.
So you like playing like sports and stuff, right? Like you like going out and doing. So you found an activity that you liked, and you went out to do that on campus. You met other people that liked that same activity, and then you started talking to them. They were like, "Hey, we're part of this organization. Do you want to get involved with this organization as well?"
Well, see,
And
and it's
then-
not even that, because, like, people join people.
Mhm.
Like, if the guys weren't in ATO, I wouldn't join ATO. People join people, not organizations, you know?
No, yeah, I absolutely agree. Like I did come to A-State kind of for PBL, which is currently obviously known as FBLA, and I did join with that in mind. But I didn't become a part of like Scarlet to Black, like this program. I didn't do that just because I really liked the organization. Like obviously it's a good organization, but one of the reasons I joined was because I loved Melanie and Lex and Dr. 2. Like they were some of my good friends. Obviously Dr. 2's a faculty member and I respect him. I don't know if friend is the right word with that one, but with the rest of them, friend is the right word. So I got involved that way. So I really love that you said people don't join organizations, people join people. I think that's a really great way to put that. So I think for people who are listening, obviously you're probably not going to be Parker if you are struggling to make friends and you're listening to this podcast. So you may not be going out to the soccer field and kicking a ball around with a whole group of strangers. But what he said, if you take it at its essence, is go find people who do the same things you do. If you like to go to the library and read, go to the library and read. Sit in one of the group areas, and they have couches and stuff. Some places, don't they, or big tables upstairs. Find somewhere that's a little bit more social, not one of the silent floors, and sit in a space where you leave room for people around you. Somebody comes up, hey, can I sit here? Yeah, sure. If you want to go sit in the Union, I'd say the Union's probably a really good place to meet new people.
Even just the lobby of your dorm. Like, I know we kind of started off, we played video games in the lobby. People would walk in and be like, oh, I like this game, and then they'd join in, and then, we were friends then.
Oh, that's a great, I didn't even think about that, because like I said, I don't live on campus, but if you live in a residence hall, that's a great way to make new friends. So, like, tell me about, because I know you guys host events at your residence hall. You made a fake knockoff Instagram for your residence hall.
The better gift.
So,
What?
You didn't know that?
What'd you make?
A state Griffin.
That too.
I haven't posted in a while. I need to.
So, for the people who are not in context right now listening to this podcast, we have a house on campus, a living learning community called the Griffin House, named after Neil Griffin for the Neil Griffin College of Business. And the students here sitting next to me are both College of Business students who live in this living learning community, and they got really involved and they liked their residence hall, so they made a fake Instagram account called A State Riffin, like Griffin, but minus the G. So tell me kind of about some of the events you guys host, about some of the fun stuff you guys do, and ways that other people can kind of get involved in their own residence halls and stuff like that.
Well, I know, like, we held a book club because we're all business majors and we all had the same class. And we all had to read this really bad book. And we were like, let's just read it together. Because, see, one time we were just going to listen to it on audio, right?
Yeah.
It didn't work. We just fell asleep on the couch. It was awful. So, like, we were like, okay, if we get a bunch of people, then maybe we'll stay awake. And it did. And so we kind of we do book clubs. I mean, lately we've just been hanging out in our study room. It's not really a study room anymore. It's like a game room. What else have we done? Oh, we did Among Us night. I forgot about that. We did an Among Us night.
That is so sad.
And okay.
Wow.
Can we just cut?
Can we cut? Can I mean, the podcast be over now?
Anymore, when we see a lot of people, our friend Haley works at a bakery and she brings back a lot of stuff. And so whenever she brings it back, we see a lot of people down there getting like the cupcakes.
Like, we sprint.
We ran down there last time.
How'd people feel about the popcorn you guys brought back yesterday?
Oh, I didn't put that in the lobby.
I'm gonna take it to the Griffin house
No.
and then immediately take it to your room.
No, what I did, I put it in someone else's room and made it look like someone was sleeping in their bed. And so they walked in and got really scared.
It's like when you sneak out of your house and you put like the pillow under the blankets, but instead you freak your friends out with it.
Yeah.
So, but you guys did bring up a good point there in the middle. You said that you guys started this whole thing where you do these game nights and you have these events where people come from all around your residence hall and they hang out with you in the study rooms. But that all started with, funnily enough, studying, classwork. So if you're really struggling to find friends, maybe you're not sitting next to anybody who's too talkative in your classes, but you see some people that you think maybe you could get along with, just be like, hey, I'm kind of struggling with some of the concepts, or hey, I want to study before this test coming up. Can we make a study group? And then start a study group with some of your friends, and it could spawn something bigger. Because obviously, you guys had your reading nights in your residence hall for Garbology, the first year common reader, and everybody has to read that, right? Every single first year student has to read the common reader. So it was a good idea, and that was able to make everyone have a common goal, and that got everybody in the room together. And I saw you guys had a lot of people, like towards the end, especially right before the final test. You even convinced Dr. 2 to come, and you had 20 people there?
Yeah, because he started talking about it in class, and then he got people there.
So, I mean, just if you are struggling to make friends in college, if you are really having a challenge with that, talk to people in your classes. Maybe don't say anything too weird, don't be Nick, but tell them tell them you like their shoes. Tell them you like their backpack. Something that's not gonna weird them out, but it does show you're paying attention and that you have some kind of a common interest with them. Go to events. There's so many free events. Follow the student activities board if you want to see something like that. FBLA hosts a lot of free events. You can look up FBLA. Just find, even if you don't go to A-State, find whoever you have on your campus, whoever does free events, go to some. Even if it's a little bit awkward, even if it's not your thing, it's good to go and learn what you do like and what you don't like. A few podcasts ago, I had Haley on, and she told me that her first year she went to a Bible study class, and she is a Christian and that's her thing, but the people there, the environment, it was not her favorite. She felt awkward, but she's really glad she did it because it got her out of her shell, it got her into a new environment, and she figured out what she doesn't like and what she doesn't like from social events. And then in the future, she found social events that she did like, and she went to places she did. So go out and talk to people. Go to classes and try and communicate with your peers, and just go to free events. That stuff is like guaranteed to help you meet new people, and you might even make some friends. You guys have anything else to add at all?
One other thing that I used to do a lot, I'd have some friends over in like K's Hall or A Hall. I would just go over there and play like pool. And I met more people just going over there and playing pool than I do like ever like going to the union or like library. Because people come up to you and ask if they can play, and of course like, why would you say no? Why would you say no?
Oh.
Hey, I think that'd be a good conversation starter too. You're like sitting there with a pool stick in your hand, somebody walks up, "Can I play with you?" Just look them right now and no. They're like, "What?" You're like, "No, I'm just kidding, man. Of course, come on." It's a good
You
icebreaker.
don't say that second part. You just say no and let them walk off.
I think it's the opposite of the point of this podcast.
You don't want friends.
So if you like playing
You don't need
soccer,
friends.
if you like playing soccer, Parker said go play soccer. If you like playing pool, Nick said go play pool. I know Nick also likes to play basketball, and he's made some friends playing basketball.
Terrible at it. Ask him how many points he has in intramural basketball right now.
How many points do you have in intramural
I've
basketball?
shot once.
Hey,
Zero.
nobody. So that's a
How many games
great
have you
point.
played?
That's a great point. So Nick is awful at basketball, but he plays anyway because he wants to make friends. So even if you're not good at it, go out and try something new. You will make friends, and just be open to new experiences. And hey, if you have a bad experience, if it's not your favorite, that's okay. You're gonna learn something you don't like. You're gonna learn in the future what not to do, and so you can be better prepared the next time you have an opportunity to take better advantage of it. So thank you guys for listening. This has been College Students Talking, and we've been talking about how to make friends in college. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Nick?
I'm good.
All right.
Ah! Okay.
Bye, camera.
Say bye to the camera.
Bye, camera.